So it's important to enjoy the little things out here. Like 2 days ago, I didn't have any pain in my neck. I could turn my head, I could look around. It was awesome. And then I slept funny last night, and now I'm basically moving around. You remember that 1990s Michael Keaton Batman where he had the awesome cowl, but he couldn't turn his head, so he'd fight and he'd have to like twist his entire body? That's basically what I have to do to look behind me now. As of this morning, I have about 65 miles to Able Bridge, which is the access point to Katahdin. I have my last resupply on the AT. And also, I'm only about 7 miles from White Cap, which is the last of these little mountain ranges at the start of the 100-mile wilderness. So should be over that and into the flats, and I'm hoping I can kind of make better time, maybe make it in under 3 days for the remainder, but, we'll see. Today is September 1st. This was nominally when I was hoping to summit as of, a week or two ago, but, things happen. I am convinced that the universe hates a plan and will just do whatever it can to mess you up the moment you make one. Last year on the PCT, I was pretty sure I knew when I was going to finish. I was doing like solid mid-20s every day. And so Jen and I made a plan, and she was going to fly out to Washington to meet me. We were going to stay in an Airbnb, whole thing. And we scheduled it, so all I had to do was make like 15 to 20 a day easy, and I'd have it. And then all hell broke loose. But literally the day after we made the schedule, stuff happened, and all of a sudden it was blown. And so soon I'm running along trying to make like 25-mile days in order to be able to just like keep it as an option. And yeah. But, if I had finished when I was going to originally, it would have been in a cold rainstorm. People were getting to the monument at the end, basically snapping 2 pictures and then having to leave because it was so cold. Versus when I got there, it was sunny and it was basically summer-like. So I got to hang out at the monument for like 2 hours and try and figure out, like, what am I going to do with myself now? So I get to Katahdin when I get to Katahdin, I get to the border when I get to the border, and I basically can't worry about it. The only unfortunate thing at the moment is it is likely I'm going to summit on Labor Day weekend, so it's probably going to be a little busy there, but that just means I get a lot of people cheering me on as I'm like book it up to the top, right? Also, kind of the unfortunate thing about the campsite situation is I'm sure there are going to be people at Roaring Brook who would be happy to let me split their site, tent off in the corner or something like that. However, I'm not going to go like up to everybody and ask, hey, you mind if I stay in your campsite? I've run into way too many like entitled thru hikers who are really assholes out here, so I don't like doing anything like that. Right now the plan is hopefully stay at the Birches before Katahdin, get up, be able to get out of Baxter and find someplace to stealth, or get down the IAT a little ways. We'll see how long Katahdin takes. I mean, I am going to have a full pack with like 3 days worth of food, so I have been thinking quite a bit about how the AT's gone since, generally when I finish anything, I figure, I'll probably be back at some point. I'll probably do the Florida Trail again. I wouldn't be surprised if I did the PCT again. At least at the moment, I ain't doing the AT again. There's just better trails out there. But one of the things that has just driven me nuts out here, trail laundry. I sweated in this shirt like 2 days ago. I have tried everything I can to dry it out, and not only does it not dry, it's still all soggy and wet despite best attempts. It starts smelling like ammonia after a couple of days. Pretty sure like bacteria in it. On the PCT, I don't even need a laundry line. I just put it on the top of my pack on that, drying platform on my pad, and it'd be dry within an hour or two. And my next laundry option isn't going to be until I'm on the far side of Katahdin, and I don't even know how far. It's going to be whenever I can get to a, hotel, laundromat, etc. along the IAT. So if you're wondering why I don't just go set off in the woods, I tried. I was wandering around back there with my headlamp for a while before I finally found this. It works, only downside it's a little closer to the trail than I'd prefer. Haven't been able to check the weather in a little bit, but you can probably hear the wind in the background. Seems kind of unsettled, or like something's blowing in today. Hopefully it's not a week-long rainstorm, Damn, they find you everywhere. Of all the things that kind of intrude into the wilderness experience out here, privies are the one that I'm really in favor of. They should build like 3 times as many as they have. It fixes so many problems like you wouldn't believe. Not to say that you won't find toilet paper and badly dug cat holes if you wander around in the woods here, but it does cut down with it exceedingly. If you look back at my videos during, I think, the 40 miles of Tennessee where they have no privies, it's bad. You've got entire areas where the flies are just everywhere, and you know, every inch of ground seems to have old toilet paper sticking out of it. Never mind that you're supposed to pack that out, of course. These, on the other hand, I still just don't get the appeal. You see what happens? I get out of my tent early, get moving, hit the privy, ready to kick some butt, and then I end up spending like 30-40 minutes hanging out at a water source chatting with somebody. Ran into a guy named Walking Man, who was just really fun to chat with. And up we go. Okay, so as promised, so far this has been pretty gentle. I think I just passed over the second of 4 peaks. White Cap is the last one, and that's the one that may have a view of Katahdin. So far, no views up top. I think I actually even saw a switchback back there. I know. Didn't think they knew how to do those out here. I am gonna miss, once I'm off the AT, the people recognizing me, just because it's so sweet. You come around the corner and somebody's like, "It's you!" and they're so excited and they want to talk, and that's been really fun. Probably not getting that a lot on the IAT. Just gonna be me and the moose hunters. So one of the big struggles for me as I get towards the end or towards a big milestone like Katahdin is basically staying in the moment and just enjoying hiking where I am, versus, you know, like right now it's hard not to picture being on Katahdin, getting to Katahdin, wanting to get there faster. And that is the best way to have the trail drag like you wouldn't believe. Okay, there's Katahdin. Okay, so the good news is that's Katahdin. I literally just have to walk over there and go stand on top of that little hill. And of course, then continue on to Canada, yada, yada, yada. I did check the weather because it has been noticeably colder today, and it looks like there's going to be another near miss, this time by Ida. So tomorrow, Thursday, is looking like it's going to be really nasty. We're talking like fairly heavy rain and temperatures in the 40s. So we'll see. It gets better in the afternoon, so I may just hunker for the morning, which will kind of put me behind, but what are you going to do? I really would have been okay with, you know, another week or so of sunshine. Nothing like those rustic backcountry handicap accessible privies. Okay, so considering this is my last day of good weather for, you know, at least 2 days, I'm basically going to push as far as I can. Good news is it seems to be downhill and then gentle downhill, so we'll see. Hopefully it just continues like this. Man, I can't remember the last time I saw this much trail. I'm half tempted to start, or just keep on hiking until the rain arrives at 3 a.m. Okay, so as much as I'll talk a big game about wanting to hike for half the night, I really hate night hiking solo. So first decent camp I find, I'm gonna go ahead and bed down and then see what happens with this storm. I really missed the days when it was light until, you know, 9 o'clock or so. Anyway, 8 o'clock, I found a established tent site right on the side of the trail, but what are you gonna do? That's what you deal with on these big trails. So home sweet home for the night. Made it about 20 miles, so that's as much as I needed to do, but tomorrow we'll see. And here we go again. And it is a downright drippy morning this morning. I am just drinking my coffee and trying to get myself worked up to pack everything away wet and hike all day in the rain again. So part of me really wants to just wait out the rain, wait till it stops later in the afternoon and then hike on. But I do know I have a bad behavior bubble behind me a day or two. And I really would prefer that I not let them catch up before I'm up and over Katahdin. So time to hike in the rain. Okay, got a bit of a break, so I was able to pack things away, go rush out and dig a cat hole, and now I'm on my way. And for the moment, it's barely dripping. So I'm about 58 miles into the wilderness, I think. quote-unquote wilderness. Hey, look, found a resupply.
Fall. And I've done it before. I mean, I've done it before. I know what. Drink this. And I said, thank you. You know, which I never did.
Okay, so that was kind of cool. It has not rained like it was supposed to. And I ran into a Rocky nemesis that I originally met them within the first couple 100 miles of this hike. It was along a canal in southern Florida. They skipped the Alabama Roadwalk, and I knew they were up here somewhere, and just happened to run into them. Also, if you're not tired of me complaining about how much I didn't like the Shaw's experience, apparently they've had a COVID outbreak there, so that's great. So I mentioned the food drops people are doing out here. Also, apparently there are groups that are jumping in and out, like doing part of the 100-mile wilderness, then getting a shuttle ride from one of those roads back to Shaw's to then, you know, take a shower, eat, and come back out and do more. So if there is COVID at Shaw's, that's going to be all sorts of messy up ahead. Okay, this is another one of those situations where I'm really torn. I'm in a basically recreation area around a lake or a preserve, so they only want you camping in established spots. This is one, it's solo. It's also just a little bit earlier. It's only 6:20, and I'm used to still being able to kind of like go until 8 or so, but I really don't want to be going up. This next climb supposedly might be a little nasty, and I am a bit tired. 20-mile day. Did get to talk with Rocky and Nemesis for a while, so that probably, if I hadn't done that, I could have gone up and over, but oh well. So realistically, home sweet home for the night here. Hit the shelter in the morning, use the privy, get over to Herd, which sets me up for Katahdin on Sunday. It is harder than you would believe to find a spot for tents here. You know, you look close and everything just has roots. Sleep on some of them, but I have a foam pad. If I had my tents there, it wouldn't matter, but hey. So you can see I'm on a little bit of a curve.